Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 grade 7 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 7 and then click on view all lessons. So there you can find the list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter integers. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, here I am on grade 7 math. We're going to start with the chapter integers. Let's just start with the lesson understanding integers. So first we are going to learn what are the integers. Integers are the positive and negative numbers including 0, right? Hold on. Okay, so integers include all the positive numbers and all the negative numbers including 0, right? You have 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. And on the other side, you have all the negative numbers, right? So positive numbers are increasing and negative numbers are increasing. Positive numbers are increasing as you are moving far from 0, and negative numbers are decreasing as you are moving far from 0. So let's just start with the practice questions. Basically, the profits and increases are represented by the positive numbers, and the losses and decreases are always represented by the negative numbers, right? Why we use integers? Because sometimes we have to represent the losses and decreases, right? So that's why we use the negative numbers. When we have to represent the negative numbers or decreases, we use the negative numbers, and when we have to represent the increases and increments, we always use the positive numbers. Let's just start with the example. Which integer represent the scenario climbing 2 flights of stairs? So you are climbing, right? Going up of stairs. A positive number can represent a gain or an increase. A negative number can represent a loss or a decrease, right? So the scenario involves a gain or an increase. So that would be represented by the positive number, right? Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Which integer represents the scenario? Removing 8 plates from a stack. So you are removing. That means plates are decreasing, right? And decreases are represented by the negative number, so that is negative 8. In which integer represents the scenario? 1 gallon increase in volume, so that is an increase. Increases are represented by the positive number, so that would be positive one, right? The correct option is positive one. Which integer represents the scenario? $4 price reduction. That is a reduction. Reductions are represented by the negative numbers. Which digit represents the scenario? 3 degrees warmer than yesterday, which is the correct option. That is an increase, right? Because temperature increases by 3 degrees. Which integer represents the scenario? A puppy grows 2 centimeter longer. Positive 2 it is, right? Because that is a growth. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Absolute value and opposite integers. Let's just start with the lesson. What is the opposite of negative 1? So what are the opposite numbers? Opposite numbers are the same distance from the 0 but in opposite direction, right? So the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1. The correct option is positive 1, right? Opposite of negative 6. That would be on the other side with the opposite sign, right? So that would be positive 6. Let's just start with the lesson. What is the opposite of 1? Which is the correct option? That would be negative 1, right? On the other side, the same number with the opposite sign. So that would be negative 1. What is the opposite of negative 1? Yes, positive 5 it is. 5 it is. Opposite of negative 5 is What is the opposite of negative 8? Eight. Positive 8. What is the opposite of 4? That would be negative 4. The correct option is negative 4. What is the opposite of negative 10? Yes, positive 10 it is. The correct option is 10. What is the opposite of 6? Yes, that is negative 6. What is the absolute value of 5? Which is the correct option? Absolute values are the positive values. No negative values allowed only in the absolute value. So 5 is already positive. That is positive 5. That is an absolute value, right? What is the opposite of 6? Opposite of 6 is negative 6. The correct option is negative 6. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is that is integer inequalities with absolute values. Okay, what sign makes the statement true? You have to compare 7 and absolute value of negative 7, right? And absolute value means the positive values, right? So the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. right? That means this sign means you need to evaluate the absolute value. So absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. So when you we need to see which sign makes them true, that is equal 7 is equal to 7, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Which sign makes the statement true? This one is negative 5. You have to evaluate the absolute value of negative 5, so that would be 5. Negative 5, negative numbers are always less than the positive numbers, so the correct option is less than it is, right? Negative 5 is less than 5. The correct option is less than. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which sign makes the statement true? Negative 4 and absolute value of 6, which is the correct option? Negative 4 is less than 6 because the absolute value of 6 is absolute value of negative 6 is positive 6, right? Negative 4 is less than because the absolute value of negative 6 is 6. Which sign makes the statement true? Yes, they both are exactly equal because the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. So they both are exactly equal. 2 is less than 0, right? Negative numbers are always less than the 0. The correct option is less than. 8 is less than 4, right? Because the absolute value of negative 4 is 4, so 8 is then less than 4. Yes, 8 is greater than 4. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong option. 8 is greater than 4. Okay, you can. The next one is which sign makes the statement true? Absolute value of 3. So, absolute value of 3 is absolute value of 3 is greater than 0. The correct option is that it is because absolute value of 3 is 3. So, 3 is greater than 0. Yes, they both are exactly equal. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next one is integers on number line. Okay, let's see how do we represent the integers, right? So, the positive numbers are always on the right hand side of 0 and negative numbers are on the left hand side of the 0, right? So, you have to find the missing number. The missing number is on the left hand side of 0. So, that is a negative number and that is between negative 1 and negative 3. So, between negative 1 and negative 3, that means that would be obviously negative 2 it is, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Type the missing number. So, which number is missing? Yes, the missing number is 3, right? Because on the missing number is on the right hand side of 0, so that would be positive number, and between 2 and 4, that would be 3. The correct option is 3 it is. Type the missing number. So which number is missing? The correct option is yes, 7. It is between 6 and 8, that is 7. Type the missing number. So, which number is missing? That is 1. The correct option is 1. That is negative 2. The correct option is negative 2. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. The next lesson is compare and order integers. Let's just start with the next lesson. Okay, which words make the statement true? You have to compare negative 5 and 5, right? Negative numbers are always less than the positive numbers. So negative 5 is less than 5 because negative numbers are always less than the positive numbers. So negative 5 is less than 5. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Which words make the statement true? Negative 3 and negative 2, they both are the negative numbers, right? And they are on the left hand side of the 0. So, as you are moving far from 0, the numbers are getting smaller and smaller, right? So, that means negative 3 is because negative 3 is far from 0 than negative 2. So, negative 3 is which words make the statement true? Yes, that is 5 is less than 4. The correct option is less it is. Oh, sorry, greater. You're on the positive side. Sorry, that would be greater. 5 is greater than negative 4, right? Okay, so 5 is greater than negative 4. Which words make the statement true? Negative 2 is negative 2 is less than 0. The correct option is less than 0. Which words make the statement true? Which is the correct option? 2 is greater than 1, right? 2 is a positive number, so positive numbers are always greater than the negative numbers. 2 is greater than negative 1. Which words make the statement true? Negative 5 and negative 3. So, which is the correct option? Yes, negative 5 is farther than negative 3 on the negative side. So, negative 5 is negative 5 is less than negative 3. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Okay, the next one is graph integers on horizontal and vertical number lines. The correct option is graph 1 and negative 1 on the number line. So you are given the number line, right? Just locate the 1 and negative 1 on the. So let's just start with the test questions. Graph 1 and negative 1 on the number line. So you are given two of the numbers line, right? First thing is you need to locate 1 and then negative 1. So you can see here is the negative 1, but here you have 2, negative 1 and 1 on the number line. So second one is the correct option. The correct option is option number 2. The correct option is option number 2. Graph 3 and negative 3 on the number line. So, which is the correct option? Option number 1 is the correct option, right? That is option number 2. Option number 2 is the correct option. Graph negative 4 and 0. So, that is option number 1 is the correct option, right? The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. Here is option 2, here is negative 4, and here is 4. Option 2 is the correct option. Graph negative 1 and negative 4 on the number line. So, which is the correct option? That is option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So, we were working on grade 7 math. The chapter we were working on is integers, and the lessons we have covered today are understanding integers, absolute value and positive opposite integers, integer inequalities with absolute values, integers on number lines, compare and order integers, graph integers on the horizontal and vertical number lines, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we did today. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday 5 to 9, or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10, right? So if you have any questions related to the lessons we have just finished, you can please ask question if you have any. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No question. Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.